This is predicting every MLB team's home run leader in 2025. Starting off with the Arizona Diamondbacks, I have Ketel Marte leading the team with 30 homers. Marte was able to hit a career-high 36 last season, and while I don't think he reaches a number that high in 2025, I am confident he will finish with more than teammates Eugenio Suarez and Corbin Carroll. Marte is not the most flashy power source, but still solid nonetheless. From the Braves, I'm going with slugger Matt Olson, who is coming off a down year based on his standards in which he hit 29 homers. I have him pegged for 38 in 2025 though, as I feel he bounces back in a big way, especially since the Braves should be healthier as a whole this year. Ozuna and Riley definitely will challenge Olson throughout the year, but will ultimately fall short in my opinion. Next is the Orioles, where my choice is Gunnar Henderson, who I have projected for 34 homers. Gunnar is recently coming off a 37-homer campaign in his impressive sophomore season. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of Gunnar surpassing last year's total, but his second half did take a dent, revealing a reason for skepticism towards a potential 40-homer year this year. Now I have Rafael Devers for the Boston Red Sox, who has been a model of consistency, especially in the power department over the years. I think he gets to an even 30 homers in 2025, with a close total to teammates like Alex Bregman and Tristan Casas. This is a projection that I'm extremely confident in, considering that Devers' numbers rarely waver year to year. The newly acquired Chicago Cub, Kyle Tucker, is who I think will lead the team with 32 homers this upcoming season. Tucker is coming off a year in which he saw his power tick up with a staggering 23 homers in just under half a season. I think he's still a ways away from being a 40-homer bat, but the Cubs will surely be happy with a total in the 30s in his first season with the club. Elly De La Cruz is my pick to go lead the Reds in home runs with 27 of them after 25 just last season. The Reds lack a true premier power bat, but Elly presents an upside that is completely uncertain. He's a freak of nature with limitless potential, and after the season's concluded, my prediction could be totally wrong. For now, I've decided to go with a more conservative approach. The Guardians really only have one possible selection, which is their superstar and face of the franchise, Jose Ramirez. Ramirez just tied his career high of 39 homers in 2024, but for 2025, I see that number dropping a fair amount to 31. Ramirez typically has power numbers that fluctuate year to year, but his career average is around 30, so that's why my projection is lower than what we saw last season. The most unknown player on my list is arguably Michael Toglia of the Colorado Rockies, who I'm projecting for a whopping 35 homers in 2025. Toglia absolutely crushes the ball, which was evident by his 25 homers in only 116 games last season. It also helps that he gets to play half his games in Coors Field. He's a major sleeper pick for power this year. Moving on to the White Sox now, I've chosen Luis Robert Jr. with a projection of 27 homers. While the player selection was obvious, the homer total was difficult to project as Robert has a 38-homer season under his belt but has never reached 20 homer in any other year. In all likelihood, Robert doesn't even finish the year with the White Sox, which may only enhance his power totals if he moves to a more favorable home park. The Tigers are next here, where I'm going with Kerry Carpenter, and I think that he will go for 28 homers next season. Carpenter just recently mashed 18 homers in just 87 games with the Tigers, but his upside is limited due to inconsistent playing time. His power numbers throughout the minors are gaudy, signaling that an increase in playing time could actually surprise people with his power results this season. Jordan Alvarez is my selection for the Houston Astros, and it's really no contest for me, especially with Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker no longer with the team. It has been an injury-riddled career thus far for Alvarez, but when he's healthy, he's as good as any in terms of power. I'm assuming he's going to have a healthier season this year than what we've seen recently, so I'm saying he mashes 42 this season. Next up is the Kansas City Royals, and while Bobby Witt may not be the most premier power bat around the league, I'm still expecting him to reach 33 homers in his fourth season. The exit velocity numbers are strong, and his power numbers have slightly improved each season since his debut back in 2022. He is a superstar with what could be even more power coming in 2025. My home run leader for the Angels is none other than Mike Trout. While Trout has been unable to stay healthy for the past half-decade, nobody on the Angels presents a kind of upside that he does. Even if he only suits up for 100 games this year, I'm still confident that he will lead the Angels in home runs. I'm betting that Trout hits 36 homers in a comeback season this year. Moving on to the Dodgers now, who have a plethora of options, I'm still going to go with Shohei Ohtani to lead the team with an even 50 homers. Betts, Freeman, and Hernandez are all solid power producers, but none of them have the pure dominance that Ohtani does at the plate. He may not top his 54 homers that he posted just last season, but I do think he comes real close in the end. The Marlins really don't have any other hitter that is even a sure thing to hit 20 homers in a season, but if one does, then it will likely be Connor Norby. Norby has flashed elite power in the minors and even came up to the majors and impressed as well. It may take a little longer for Norby to fully translate his power to the majors, but for 2025, I think he hits a respectable 22 homers leading the Marlins. Jackson Chourio is my pick for the Brewers, entering his sophomore season after a productive 2024 that saw him hit 21 homers. I do think it's close between Chourio and William Contreras, but I believe that Chourio will finish with 26 homers, a few more than that of Contreras. Chourio definitely has the upside for 30 plus as soon as this season. I just personally wouldn't bet on it just yet. Next up are the Minnesota Twins, who have an obvious choice as long as he stays healthy, and that's Royce Lewis. Royce has yet to play over 82 games in a season, thanks in part to a couple ACL tears, as well as many more injuries that have kept him off the field. I have him projected for 31 homers, but I wouldn't at all be surprised if he manages to stay healthy and absolutely crushes that number. One of the league's most fierce power bats is Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, who is consistently among the league leaders in homers. He's coming off a slightly down year with 34 homers, but I think he beats that significantly in 2025. With the addition of Soto hitting in front of him, Alonso should see some better pitches, and I think that him hitting 45 of them this upcoming season is within the realm of possibilities. Now, the most obvious pick on this entire list is New York Yankee Aaron Judge, who just crushed 58 homers to lead the AL. His power numbers have been dominant in every single season of his career, and that should be no different with him hitting 56 homers in 2025. Losing Soto might negatively impact the pitch quality that he sees at the plate, but he's too talented of a player for that to matter much at all. Brent Rooker of the Athletics absolutely exploded on the scene last year in a season that included 39 homers. He faces no real power competition on the A's, and I believe that he hits somewhere near his last year's totals. As of now, I'm projecting Rooker for 35 homers in another marvelous season that will make his name more well known across the league. Moving on to the Philadelphia Phillies now, I'm going with Kyle Schwarber, who does nothing but mash baseballs. He's managed to hit a staggering 131 of them the past 3 seasons, and I just don't see that changing anytime soon. It's been rumored that the Phillies may move Schwarber from leadoff to the 3-hole, which presents upside for even more focus on power, so I have him penciled in for another 40 homers in 2025. My pick for the Pittsburgh Pirates is Oneil Cruz, where I have him projected for 27 homers in 2025. A true StatCast darling, Cruz has average exit and max exit velocity numbers that rival the very best and give a glimpse towards his full potential. If he can significantly improve on his swing and miss and improve his contact ability, then the sky is truly the limit for him, at least from a power perspective. Next up are the San Diego Padres, and I'm going with Fernando Tatis Jr. and a projected 33 homers for him. Tatis faces Machado as his only true competition, but I'm giving the edge to the player who's just entering his prime. Health will be the major key in allowing Tatis to reach my projected total, but if he does, then I just don't see a way he doesn't reach it. This is a guy who's cracked 40 before, after all. Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners is my selection for the team lead in homers after recently finishing third behind Cal Raleigh and Luke Raley last season with 20. It was a down season as a whole in 2024 for J-Rod, but I see him bouncing back in a big way with 32 homers this upcoming season. He's still just 24 years old, and we likely haven't seen him reach his full potential just yet, so I'm expecting big improvements. The next team is the San Francisco Giants, in which I'm going with Heliot Ramos, who's showcased his immense power in 2024. In his first full season, Ramos hit 22 homers in 121 games, showing that he has the potential for 30 as soon as this year. I don't quite think he reaches that mark this season, and that's why I have him reaching 27 homers, but a 30-homer season in his future does seem likely. The Cardinals are up here, with my choice being the often consistent Wilson Contreras coming off a strong year. Contreras suffered a broken forearm last season that resulted in months missed after he was scorching hot in the first half. He was on pace for a career high in homers before he went down with 15 and 84, but I think this is the year he hits a career high by hitting 26 homers. He's also reportedly bulked up during the offseason. Brandon Lau has started to go under the radar as he's faced numerous injuries throughout his career. What's proven, though, is that his power is productive when he does manage to stay on the field. I know many want me to pick Junior Caminero in this spot, but I don't think he reaches his power potential this early in his career. I have Lau projected for a solid 27 homers in 2025, assuming he stays a little healthier. Now we head to the Texas Rangers, where I have star Corey Seager projected for 37 homers. He's another guy that consistently deals with injuries that limit his total at the end of the season, but only few have more power on a game-by-game basis. He's slowly starting to drift away from his prime years, but until he gives me a reason to believe his power has diminished, I'll still project him for a high total. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is up in this spot for the Jays, where I see him going for 34 homers, a slight increase from his strong 2024. This is a contract season for Vlad after all, and I do believe that he will do everything in his power to show that he's one of the very best the league has to offer. He's never been a major power contributor outside of one anomaly season, but we should see his power tick up at least a bit in 2025. And lastly, I have James Wood as my choice for the Washington Nationals, who is just coming off a successful rookie season last year. Wood may have only hit 9 homers in about half a season in 2024, but his minor league track record suggests that more is coming real soon. He's the new face of the franchise for the Nationals at the moment, and I believe that we see him hit a strong 25 homers this upcoming season. And with that being said, that concludes predicting every MLB team's home run leader in 2025. Let me know in the comments what you agree or disagree with. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next one.